It's time for the 420 Radio News, covering the latest headlines in consumer cannabis, medical marijuana, and industrial hemp. Transcripts of 420 Radio News are available daily on our website at 420radio.org. Now, here's Russ Belville with your marijuana headlines in 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
This is your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, January 13th, 2015. In Washington state, a Pierce County Superior Court judge has ruled unconstitutional a state law that prohibits doctors and other medical professionals from mentioning medical cannabis in their advertisements. Judge Elizabeth Martin said the law violates both the state and federal constitutions by curtailing free speech. The state might have an interest in regulating such advertising, but banning it outright is unacceptable, Martin said. Attorney Mark G. Olson of Everett argued in pleadings that the state's ban hindered patients' ability to find doctors willing to provide authorization cards to people seeking to use cannabis for medicinal purposes. The state argued that doctors, quote, cannot claim constitutionally protected commercial speech for the medical use of marijuana because marijuana is illegal under federal law and the medical use of marijuana remains illegal under state law, end quote, referring to the fact that Washington only provides an affirmative defense for medical marijuana patients. Outgoing Illinois Governor Quinn has failed to issue the licenses for state medical marijuana cultivators and dispensaries, an act that was originally promised to happen on January 1st. With the new administration casting a very jaundiced eye toward medical marijuana, supporters are now hopping mad. Quote, I'm real ticked off, said State Representative Louis Lang, the Skokie Democrat who authored the law. The state agencies were ready. These licenses were ready to be issued. The governor chose to not put his final stamp of approval on them, end quote. Incoming Governor-elect Rauner is known to not be a fan of the program and said during the campaign he would have vetoed the bill. However, Governor Quinn did recommend prohibiting patients from being subjected to criminal background checks. He called for extending the current sunset for the pilot program through 2017 for 2 years longer, through 2019, and clarified some of the ambiguity around the licensing of proposed cultivation centers. Floridians can expect the legislature to ponder expanding the state's new medical marijuana law to allow for more potent pot that would treat other illnesses, but lawmakers might first wait to carry out the statute the state already has. Last year, the legislature approved a law that allows CBD-only marijuana preparations for Floridians who suffer from epilepsy, cancer, and a handful of other ailments that cause severe seizures or spasms. Even so, medical marijuana advocates are lobbying to get the law expanded to possibly allow extracts made from higher THC marijuana. Such a treatment would get users high, but they are believed to be more effective for patients with post-traumatic stress disorder, dementia, and other ailments. United for Care Director Ben Pallara said they are getting encouraging feedback from lawmakers about expanding the law. He pointed out that Amendment 2 barely missed approval last November when 58% of the voters said yes to it. It needed 60% for approval. After extensive testimony Monday, the city and borough of Juneau, their assembly approved a moratorium that prohibits marijuana-related businesses until October 19th, 6 months after the end of the Alaska legislature's scheduled end. The marijuana legalization ballot measure approved by Alaska voters becomes effective February 24th, allowing Alaskans to use marijuana recreationally. Under the terms of the ballot measure, the state has until November 24th to finalize regulations covering retail marijuana sales. The first permit for a retail marijuana store can be issued no later than February 24th, 2016. 8 individuals gave public comment on the ordinance. Most of those who testified asked for a shorter moratorium, saying that a year-long block on paperwork would prevent them from planning ahead to meet the state's anticipated permitting process. Others told the assembly that the longer it takes to get legitimate businesses up and running, the longer the city must deal with a black or gray market for marijuana. An anti-Mayor de Blasio group is flying a banner over the Hudson River today reading, "De Blasio, get off the pot, resign, we heart NYPD." The same group that took credit for 2 recent banners, one read, "De Blasio failed all New Yorkers, it's time, resign," and the other read, "NY support NYPD, rest in peace Detectives Liu and Ramos," has taken credit for today's stunt. The group, who now call themselves New York City Police Officers for a Safe New York, retired NYPD for a Safe New York, claims to be made up of several thousands of retired New York City police officers who have joined together to actively support the brave men and women of the New York City Police Department in today's, quote, anti-police climate, end quote. This has been your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, January 13th, 2015. I'm Russ Belville.